Hi to all my ACOTAR fans. Welcome to the fourth book review of this series, A Court of Frost and Starlight. So as per usual, I will be discussing some elements of the previous books, so if you haven't read them yet, don't watch this because there will be spoilers, so if you don't care, keep watching. So at the end of the third book, we are left with our heroes having defeated the King of Hybern. All of the High Lords are going back home. Everybody wants to restore peace, which is a very fragile thing at the moment because we don't know where the 4 human queens are. We don't know if a High Lord that wants to go into war with the humans again, or if they want to try to expand their territory now that the wall is gone. So there's a lot of things that are still up in the air, a lot of loose ends, but we're kind of left with a little bit of a happy ending because everything is over for now. And so the fourth book, I wouldn't even really call it a book, it's more like a long novella apparently. It doesn't really hold much of a plot per se. It's kind of just a little book full of fluff and happiness. It's like a little happy ending book, but it is still vital. Like, I wouldn't say you can ignore it because it does speak of elements that will be popping up in the later novels. So especially the one with Nesta and Cassian that just came out. So a lot of people find this book hard to read because it lacks a plot and it doesn't really have any action or suspense, or it's not gonna have pulling or screaming in a pillow. But personally, I'm a fan of happy endings. I'm a fan of all the cutesy, fluffy stories. I loved it. I personally loved it. It was very easy to read. It took me like one evening. It just makes you feel all happy. You get to kind of see another side of the inner circle of Farah and Rhysand, and see them enjoy themselves as a family and finally get to be happy, which is something they deserve. And so the book kind of changes perspective. So in one chapter it's Farah, then the other is like more, and you have Cassian or Rhysand. I think like a really small part for Nesta. So you kind of get to go in all of their heads. The story is kind of about the winter solstice, which is their version of Christmas. It's a holiday where they spend time with friends and family, they exchange gifts, and it's also Farah's birthday. So that's exciting. We get to see, our favorite couple on Farah's birthday and all of the family on her birthday as well. In terms of ratings, I think it's a little bit hard to rate it just because you can't really compare it to the other books. It has a place of its own. If I were to compare it to the other 3 books, obviously it would be like an 8 on 10 just because it lacks a lot compared to them. But on its own, for me, it was like just a 10 on 10 because it's just a happy book and I love happy things. I am too sensitive for sad books anymore. I can't do that. Like, just give me happy endings and I'm fine. So despite all the fluffy moments or the happy moments, there are a couple of chapters, really small chapters, where they discuss more political things. And like I said, it's really just to give you information about what's to come. It's not that serious yet. It's more just knowledge. So I can understand why some people didn't like it, or not that they didn't like it, but they found it hard to read. But like I said, I loved it. I loved it so much. It's something that I would go back to read when I'm feeling a little bit sad. It's just like, it's just a comfort read. There's not much else to say about it. It's just a little in between, I think. Those 3 books were all about the King of Hybern, the war, and that's over. We see the aftermath in this book, and we also see how it's going to play out later on with the human queens and a lot of more political things, because now it's about keeping the peace versus bringing peace. Before I tune off, I would like to show you guys the collector's edition I got. This is the first book of the series in a collector's edition, and it's basically the first book, just really prettier. You have the front with Farah hunting, and then you have the back with the wolf, and the side. I think the only thing that's missing is the golden edges. I think that would have made it so much better. And then you have the little case to hold it. I wish they would do this for all the books, but then it wouldn't really be a collector's edition. That's usually just for the first books of a series. So thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the book or if you found it boring like some people do. And make sure to subscribe so you stay tuned for my next review, which will be about A Court of Silver Flames. And make sure you check out my Instagram and TikTok as well. Bye!